Last night was pretty crazy, man. Real busy. Search was hitting all over the place. Been driving for Uber now for about a month or two, about a little month and a half. I've done about 200 trips. I was pretty skeptical at the beginning, if this was going to work out or not, Prior to signing up, I had seen a whole bunch of videos, heard a whole bunch of stories, read a whole bunch of stuff, a lot of negative things, a lot of people saying, from the rider and driver's point of view, pretty much Uber wasn't all that good. There's a whole bunch of other people, saying there was money to be made, a whole bunch of other people saying there wasn't any money to be made as a driver. But, I went ahead and just wanted to try it out for myself. This Uber driver picked me up from work one time, it was a long day at work. He picked me up, took me home, started telling me, how he was making money, how he was just putting in a few hours, a week. He showed me how much he was making, and I'm like, oh, you know what, this looks legit, I'm going to go ahead and try it out. The cool thing about it was that the guy that picked me up, he said he had like a really good job, during the day, and he was trying to make some money, in the afternoon. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and try that, and I've been driving for Uber now, ever since I signed up. I've been driving for Uber about a month and a half now. It's been pretty good. First week, it wasn't all that, I just drove a little bit, drove a day, every other day, just for a few hours. Didn't really know my hot spots, didn't really have any strategies in place. Wasted a lot of gas in some instances. So, but after the first week, I started coming up with some strategies, started learning my area a little better, because I'm not originally from this area. So I'm not originally from the state, so it took me a little bit to learn the area. So after the first week, I started making some good money, putting in, some decent hours, about 20, 30 hours a week. Just learning your hot spots, learning how to take advantage of surge. Right here in the market where I'm at, it's pretty good. I know there's people that say there's other markets that aren't that well, that the mileage, you don't get paid that well for the mileage. But here where I'm at, it's pretty decent if you come up with some strategies. You got a game plan, man, and you stick to a schedule. And also at the same time, if you're a little bit flexible and you're willing to go a little bit beyond that schedule, whenever the demand goes up, if you're ready to go, you will make some money. Now, like a lot of people have said in videos that I've seen, do not make Uber your full-time job. That's not the thing, and I can personally see why. I've been doing this for about 2 months now, almost 2 months, and it's not. If you start doing it as a full-time job, you start putting more wear and tear on your car. And then there's a lot of downtime as well. When Uber picks up and the demand goes up and it's surging, you got to be ready to go. But there's also times, where it's nothing. There's been a few days where, I'm driving for 7, 9 hours, up to even 10 hours. And, I'm not wasting any gas. I'm just sitting in areas, waiting for a ride, waiting for a fare. But there's nothing. I've been parked somewhere for about 45 minutes, even an hour, without doing anything. So also with that, there's some things you actually have to know where to actually park at, where to actually be. You don't want to stay parked in that areas. So that happened to me at the beginning. I would just wait in random places, and waiting for a ride. There's also a strategy to that. I'll be sharing that in some other videos. So I really recommend Uber for students that want to make some money, at nighttime, just for maybe 2-3 hours, make some extra cash, or maybe even during the day or in between classes. I would really recommend it. People that are trying to get their business off the ground and they just want to have a little bit of secure income coming in just in case if business doesn't go well for that month. Uber, I would recommend Uber for you. But if you're trying to do this full time, 8-12 hours a day, over 40 hours, 50 hours a week, it might not work out for you. It might just turn out that you're making the same amount of money that you would at an actual job, clocking in and having to report to a boss every day, and taking a lunch when they tell you can take a lunch, taking a break when they tell you to take a break. But the thing with Uber is, if you would actually do it full time, I think you would actually make about maybe $8 to $11, $12 an hour. If you actually went ahead and calculated it, pretty much what you would make in 40 hours at at a more at a regular job, where you have to clock in every morning or depending on the shift you work in. But the difference with Uber is that with Uber, you make your own schedule, you're your own boss, you work your own hours, you ride your own car, obviously. and you get paid for it. I mean, if you feel like working, you go into work. If you just want to work an hour or two, hey, in an hour or two, you can get some big fares, man. You can get an airport fare. You can, you can go online, during the big surge, and man, you can make about $50-$75 just within an hour or two, and you can go offline and do whatever else you got to do. So yeah, with Uber, like I said, I mean, you're your own boss. You work your own schedule. Now with that, I mean, comes the responsibility. I mean, there's a lot of people, okay, well, I don't have to, there's people that say, well, I don't have to clock in, I work whenever I want, and they go and work 1 or 2 hours, and then they won't work the rest of the week. I mean, that really will mess you up. I mean, yeah, you work your own schedule, you work your own hours, but you really do got to create something, set up a system, set up a schedule for yourself, and stick to it. You got to put in some hours. Especially if there's days where you've had a lot of downtime. I mean, and you're like for example, me, I mean, I set a schedule for myself, but let's say within that schedule nothing happened, and I'm on my way home, I already went offline, and I see that there's an area that's surging like big time. I mean, I have to get back online, because I mean, during my schedule that I made up, nothing happened. I mean, I got to kind of be a little bit flexible and be willing to put in the hours, because, I want to get paid for my day. I want to get paid for my time, and I got to make up for all that downtime, where I was just sitting around and doing nothing. So yeah, I mean, with Uber, I mean, that would be the difference. I mean, I think in the worst case scenario, you would end up making, if you were to do it full time, you would end up making what you would at a regular job, like working 8, 10, 12 hours a day, clocking in, maybe general labor or whatever you want to call it. I mean, so I mean, with Uber, you're a little bit more flexible. You can, you have more time to spend with your family, with your kids, or work on your own ideas, work on your own goals, try to lift up your business, or just make some extra money on the side. I mean, let's make some money, man. I mean, right now times are tough. I know you got probably bills to pay, mortgage, rent, car note, insurance. I mean, we're not making any money staying at home, sitting on the couch. I'm going to be upfront with you. I mean, with Uber, I mean, you can sit in your car, watch movies, be on Netflix, be on Facebook, and you can still be getting paid, because, I mean, once a trip comes in, bam, you just put your movie on pause, put Facebook to the side and start making some money. I mean, you're not getting money, you're not getting paid being at home, so, I mean, if you got them bills to pay, you got a car note to pay, man, go ahead and sign up with Uber. If you don't like it, go ahead and try something else. I mean, you're not going to be penalized if you don't like it. I mean, you do 1 or 2 trips, try it out, and see what happens. That's what I did. I mean, for me to do something, I mean, I got to research it, study it, look at it over and over again. And that's what I did with Uber, man. I watched a whole bunch of crazy videos. I'm like, what, Uber's whack. Uber's not cool. I'm not going to go ahead and do Uber. Hey, but I mean, I saw a guy, I mean, he told me, he's like, try it out for yourself. Just try it out. I mean, if you don't like it, if you see there's no money to be made, just step out. I mean, never log back in, just go ahead and cancel your account. But if you like it, then commit to it, create a strategy, create a game plan, get smart, know your city, create a schedule, and stick to it, and also be flexible at the same time. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and just wrap up this video real quick. If you want to go ahead and sign up for Uber and start driving, be your own boss, make your own schedule, start earning some extra cash, my promo code is on the screen, and it's also in the description below.